What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to this week's third, fourth, or something, and final episode of the greatest podcast on turf. If you're new here, I'm Anthony.
I'm Ryan.
And today we are back with our Week 9 NFL game predictions. Through the first 9 weeks of the season, my record is 64, 75, and 1. This week, it is currently Wednesday, November 2nd at 7:36 p.m. while we're recording this. This week, for the Week 9 bye weeks, there's a lot. The Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants, Steelers, and Niners are all on bye. So before we get into any game discussion, bets, fantasy talk, predictions, trade talk, Ryan's going to tell you guys about today's sponsor.
Little Italy Pizzeria. They got the best cheesesteaks, the best pizza in all of Delaware. 2 locations. One of those being in Middletown, Delaware. The other one being in Townsend. It is a great family business. There's a great people, great food, great prices. Be sure to come in and check it out. Let them know the greatest podcast on turf sent you. They will take care of you. Show proof that you're subscribed, that you listen to us, and they will hook you up with an additional discount. Be sure to like and subscribe. As we have said before, trying to get subscribers up, trying to hit 1,000 at 400 and something.
426 as of
426.
right now.
Trying to get watch time up.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to tune into the whole entire video. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't. It doesn't hurt you. It only helps us. Also like the video.
I promise you guys I'm paying attention. We're just trying to get this video uploaded. Start us off. Last night's game. Well, tomorrow night's game tonight, but last night's game when they're seeing this. Eagles-Texans. The Eagles opened up at 14-point favorites. For obvious reasons, I'm taking the Eagles on this one. They're coming off the bye. The Phillies are in the World Series playing at home. So, I mean, it's really only right that the Eagles go out here and win this game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles in this one also. It's not a lot to explain. Jalen Hurts is coming back to Houston, so it should be a pretty good outing for him. The 14 points might be a little bit steep, but it should be the Eagles win against the Texans. If it was the Jaguars, I'd take the Texans, obviously. But the Eagles, I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. Next up, I got the Chargers and Falcons. What do you got?
We'll go off your list.
Finally showing me some respect.
We'll
Let's
go.
go. The right list.
But real quick, though, before we get into any other games, should we talk about the trades that happened?
I said we'd talk about them when we hit the teams.
Well,
And
I was going to talk about the bye
Robert
week
Quinn
teams.
sucks.
I was going to talk about the bye week teams.
My bad. I thought you were going to say some shit.
Okay, so the 49ers, obviously, they got Christian McCaffrey. We touched on that Monday. The Steelers somehow got a second-round pick for Chase Claypool.
Props to them. Win-win on both sides.
And they bought in William Jackson.
He sucks.
Who sucks, but it's an upgrade from whoever they had.
It's fair.
The Giants traded Kadarius Toney. Got a decent compensation back for him.
A little something.
The Broncos got a first-round pick. Pretty sure it's the 49ers' first-round pick from the Trey Lance deal. The Broncos gave up Bradley Chubb and
A fourth?
And got a first, Chase Edmonds, and another pick.
I think they might have given a fourth or a fifth instead of,
Yeah.
and then they got a fourth back.
But I mean, I like that. I like that one for both sides.
Yeah.
The
Dolphins are trying to win now. And
yeah.
the fastest way to win now is fast receivers, good quarterback, edge rushers, and a decent O-line.
Yeah. And the Broncos, they got a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb.
Because they suck.
Yeah.
And he was leaving anyway.
And they just needed some draft capital because they suck.
I also don't want to be that guy, but every single team you mentioned on bye traded with the team that wasn't on bye.
Except the Browns.
Who did they trade with?
They didn't. I was saying they didn't make a trade.
No, I just meant
Oh.
you said you want me to read the bye teams. I said we could have just done it like this,
Oh.
and you said let me do the bye teams.
My bad. All right. What game's next on
I
your
knew
list?
ahead. All right, I knew ahead.
What game's next
You
on
just threw me
your
off
list?
at everything.
Whatever.
Chargers Falcons. Part of me wants to go with the Falcons. I'm really considering it. Like I'm really close. No, really close to changing it because the Chargers. Keenan Allen's out. Mike Williams is going to be out. Mike Williams definitely out. Keenan Allen's probably going to be out. So it's literally just Austin Eckler going up against the Falcons, who don't have much either, but at least they're the home team. It's starting to get cold out, so that's when the Chargers disappear anyway. Because we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
When the weather gets cold, the LA just goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in the dome, so I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm also rocking with the Chargers as well. This is a tough one. I mean, fantasy football purposes, depending on how down bad you are, you have Drake London. Chargers defense hasn't been anything special. No. Kyle Pitts just had his breakout game 2 weeks ago. Then on the Chargers side, you got Herb Eckler, maybe Josh Palmer. I said start Josh Palmer. Gerald Everett, definitely. Gerald Everett, you have to start every week, especially with how banged up the receiver room is.
Gerald Everett or Taysom Hill in a
Gerald
standard?
Everett. In a standard?
I've been starting Taysom because that man gets yards and touchdowns.
Probably Taysom just because he has the rushing yards on top of... That's probably, yeah.
But I hate it so much.
Oh, I don't blame you.
That's why I have 3 Saints.
I don't fucking blame you.
Next game, this is like game of the week for me. This is my favorite game this week. Dolphins Bears.
Huh.
Let's go. My 2 favorite quarterbacks out there balling out on Sunday afternoon. I got the Dolphins in this one because I rock with the Dolphins a little bit more heavy. I've made it pretty clear my feelings about Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and you were right about Jalen Waddle. Didn't you say he was wide receiver 1?
He was my receiver 1 over Jamar.
Good for you. Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Well, no, it was. Well, no. My receivers for that class were literally Waddle was 1A, Jamar was 1B. Yeah. Then Devontae Smith was 2. That was my exact ranking.
Well, props to you for being halfway. He's still a stud, but props to you.
It was just a matter
giving you
of
respect.
If I switched the letters, it would have been 100% right. But,
yeah, it's fine.
But
I mean, he's still a unit.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Dolphins though. They just got Chubb, so that's going to help out the defense. Chubb and Jalen Phillips, and then the secondary keeps getting more and more healthy. They were banged up. The Bears are just going to, lean on Justin Fields, who I like a lot, who I think they should really consider probably drafting a receiver. And that the receiving corps looks a lot better when they draft one because they get a solid number 1. They get Darnell Mooney.
They have 2 really good receiver 2s right now.
And then Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool can be the wide receiver 2/3, which is what they are way better suited for. Either way, I got the Dolphins in this one winning. I think the Dolphins are trying to make their Super Bowl push. Do I think it happens? Probably not. The only world that it would happen is if the Chiefs knocked out Buffalo and then Miami can beat the Chiefs. I'm not sure Miami can beat Buffalo. I mean, they already did.
I think if it's in I think
they did.
I think the home team in that game has...
That's going to be Buffalo because Tua got hurt. But I think Dolphins have a better chance of beating the Chiefs than beating Buffalo.
I would
but
agree.
I also think that the Chiefs are better than Buffalo. So bear with me.
I see what you're saying in terms. Like I see what you're saying. I can agree with that.
Because Tyreek Hill revenge game. Oh my God.
Goddamn. Yeah. It's just written in the stars.
I'm going with the Dolphins in this one.
All right, here we go. The video is finally starting to process.
And I like the over of 45. I mentioned that on the best bets, so be sure to check that out.
Yeah. I like also real quick. The Bears did trade Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
Would they get a 2nd-round pick for him?
Yep.
That ain't bad compensation for a guy that wasn't going to be on your team anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they got what they could get for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably worth a 1st, but I mean a 2nd. Sure.
But no, I'm taking the Dolphins on this one. It's really not saying much. I don't think Chicago's going to go into... Was it in Miami?
It's in Chicago.
No. I don't think that Chicago's going to be able to beat Miami, and I don't think their defense is going to be able to handle the Dolphins offense, and I don't think that the Bears offense can keep up with Miami if they're truly going like that they've been the past few weeks.
Question, am I tripping or is Jaquan Brisker defensive rookie of the year? Like, am I forgetting about somebody or is that man him?
I think he's him.
Cool.
Yeah, I think he's him. I mean, Kyle Hamilton's been having like a quietly, like he's been quiet. He's made some big plays. Who else was defense?
Hutch.
Hutchinson. All the defensive rookies they've all been playing fairly good.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jaquan Brisker's been standing out. Trent McDuffie hasn't been having a bad year. George Karlaftis has been amazing for Kansas City.
I think it's gonna be Brisker.
I think it's gonna be Brisker too. He's been playing really good. Who do we got next?
Raiders at Jaguars.
I took the Jags. Because they're the home team. That's literally why I took the Jags. I think the Raiders just suck. And I think the Jags are due for a win. So that's why I took the Jags. I really think they're due for a win.
My honest, no bullshit answer. I hate both of these teams, but I took the Raiders because I'm a bigger hater of the Jaguars.
I respect it, and I had a feeling that this game was going to be one of the more controversial ones.
It's not controversial because it just sucks.
Yeah.
It's going to be close, but I don't care enough to argue it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Devontae Adams could probably have a breakout game after having...
One catch. Literally one catch for, 4 yards?
Yeah, something like that. So, that's the only thing going for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Colts Patriots. We are on a roll right now. Let's go.
Give me the Patriots. Why? Jonathan Taylor's hurt again.
Yep.
The Patriots are notorious for shutting down number 1 options on the teams. That's Michael Pittman. I cannot see a world where Sam Howell walks into Gillette State. Did you get our YouTube notification?
I can look.
I do not see a world where Sam Ellinger walks into Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, I just got it.
Puts his mask on, walks into our trap, and takes over our trap. So I'm rocking with the Patriots. I don't know what the spread is. What are we, 5.5 favorites?
I think so.
I don't know how much I love that because the Colts defense isn't terrible.
And the Patriots offense sucks.
Stephon Gilmore revenge game on our hands. So I'm rocking with my Patriots in this one, although it's not really saying much.
The next game, I'm taking the Patriots also. I was about to skip that. The Colts aren't going to do anything on offense with no players. It's not saying anything at all. Nope. So give me the Patriots at home.
Yeah.
Next game, we got Vikings at the Commanders. This is another short, sweet one. The Vikings are trying to make a Super Bowl push. I do think that this is the year to do it when you have Kirk Cousins because the NFC sucks. So if there's a year that Kirk Cousins is going to make a playoff push, it is this one.
Yeah.
This is the only one.
Are they winning the division?
No, I'm still rocking with the Packers. But the Vikings are trying to make their Super Bowl push. What is the best way to do that? You got to beat the bad teams. You got to cover the spread. Mm-hmm. The Vikings are 3.5 favorites against Commanders. 3.5 or 4.5.
3.5.
So they have to beat them. They have to cover the spread if they really want to be Super Bowl contenders. I'm iffy on the Vikings. I'm going to be honest with you. I do think that a lot of teams in the NFC, if they went up against the Niners and played them in the playoffs, I don't think it would be a good day for the Niners, personally. So I'm still taking them against the Commanders. So.
Yeah, I also took the Vikings, and as you guys saw, my best bet yesterday. I like the Vikings minus 3.5 points a lot this week. I don't think Washington's going to be able to hang with them on offense, especially with them bringing in TJ Hawkinson in a trade, which was kind of a big trade.
Yeah, I mean,
what was it?
Interdivision, 3 picks, I think?
A second, a third, and a fourth for Hawkinson, and 2 fourths, I think it was.
I mean, it's probably about right. I'd rather have Roquan, but
yeah. But I think speaking of I took the Vikings in this one obviously, but in terms of Vikings playoffs and making a Super Bowl, I think their defense holds them back. I mean, they have some pieces Zadarius Smith's been playing amazing. Danielle Hunter's been playing really good. Harrison Smith's still there. Eric Kendricks, if he can stay healthy, he's good. But, just in the secondary, you really only have Cam Dantzler. I'm not sure what Andrew Booth's been doing.
Yeah, I think their secondary is still a weak point, but it's still the year.
They have the offense enough to where if their offense is clicking, they can hang with anybody and put points up on anybody.
Yeah. Next game, Packers-Lions.
Give me the Packers. Why? Because the Lions just can't buy a win.
Yep.
That's literally why I took the Packers. This game sucks.
The Lions are trying to upgrade their draft stock by lowering, whatever.
Trading young pieces to add more assets in the draft.
I meant just losing to increase their draft stock and lower their pick. But I'm taking the Packers in this one. This is going to be the game where they're back.
I think if there's a game, I said it with AJ Dillon this week. I think AJ Dillon's a start this week. I think that this could be the game where the Packers...
I was close to doing it, but I didn't want to be the asshole that did it.
I'm fine with being the asshole that did it, so...
It's fair.
Kudos to you.
These games suck.
Yeah.
Bills-Jets. Taking the Bills. Why? Because Zach Wilson ain't that good.
Nope.
Granted, I love what Robert Saleh's doing in New Jersey. He's doing his thing, but the Bills are just too tall of a task to take down. The Bills, they got Naeem Hines in a trade. We didn't mention that earlier. Do I like it? No, because I'm tired of teams not having 200-pound running backs.
And I'm tired of having Devin Singletary every year and him just getting gunned down.
Maybe he should gain about 20 pounds.
I'm on the wrong YouTube channel. That makes sense.
Ooh, did you just post our podcast on the wrong YouTube channel?
No, on my phone I was on the wrong one.
I'm taking the Bills on this one, and I'm not going to explain why.
I'm also rocking with the Buffalo Bills in this one. Again, I promise I'm paying attention. We're trying to get this social media work on. But yeah, I'm taking the Bills in this one. It's really not close. Zach Wilson kind of sucks. Yeah, he banged his mom's friend. Good for him, but he's really not that good. Can I say that?
It's fine. I'm
gonna get canceled for that.
Kyrie did worse.
We're not gonna cross that bridge.
If we get canceled for what you just said,
who's next? We ain't gonna get into Kyrie.
Panthers Bengals.
Give me the Bengals.
Another shitty game. I'm taking the Bengals also. I think the Panthers are frauds after last week. Granted, they played against Atlanta, so I don't think I'm saying anything. I think I'm kicking the dog. But I'm still taking the Bengals. In
These games, I hate these episodes where these games suck because it's just not fun to talk about. I still enjoy it, but it's just like annoying because there's just so many shitty games.
Yeah, because what am I going to do? Sit here like an asshole and be like, oh, the Bengals match up better because they have Joe Burrow and the Panthers have PJ Walker. Thanks.
That's kicking the dog. I'm taking the Bengals in that one too. Who do we got next?
It's a somewhat better matchup. Seahawks at Cardinals.
Cardinals cannot lose this game. The Cardinals cannot lose this game. If they lose this game, I'm not even a Cardinals fan. I'm calling for Cliff Kingsbury's job.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, there's no way the Seattle Seahawks defense is that good to where they're going to go lose to D-Hop and Kyler, who D-Hop is getting 12 and 16 targets in his first 2 games back. Zach Ertz, who had 70 yards. There's no way you should not be able to score a single touchdown on the Seattle Seahawks when you play them earlier in the season. There's just no way. It does not work like that. How bad are you as a head coach to where you can't call a touchdown against the Seattle Seahawks? No. Defensive Rookie of the Year is the cornerback Tariq Woolen from the Seahawks. Pretty sure that's his name. Hold on. I always get them mixed up.
Brisker's been playing like a stud, too.
I always get them mixed up. Let me just double check. Tariq Woolen, yes, out of UTSA. He is my Defensive Rookie of the Year pick right now. File, share. But yeah, if the Cardinals lose this game, I'm calling for Cliff's job. There's no excuse. The Seahawks are not that good. They're frauds. I don't know how. I guess Pete Carroll is just a good coach, and Ryan was wrong on that one.
No. I said there wasn't enough yet because his record has gotten better each year.
That's fair. So, yeah.
Jackass.
Give me the Cardinals, and it's really not close. This is a big game for the Cardinals. I think this is going to tell a lot for their future in terms of offense and in terms of defense and in terms of if they're actually going to be able to contend or not.
Yeah, the Cardinals, they're 3-5 right now, which isn't bad considering how bad the NFC is. In their losses, they haven't been to bad football teams either. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Rams. They lost to the Eagles. They lost to the Seahawks, which is the bad one.
Yeah.
And they lost to the Vikings. Actually, all those teams are technically in the positive this year.
Yeah.
But I think they do have to beat the Seahawks this week. There's no more excuses. You got DeAndre Hopkins back. I know you lost Marquise Brown, and I honestly believe if Marquise Brown was on the other side of Hollywood, Marquise Brown was on the other side of DeAndre Hopkins, this offense would be way more explosive. But it's just like you can't lose the game to Seattle.
No
I'm
way.
sorry. You got the Rams and 49ers coming up the next 2 weeks. You're losing at least one of those. Maybe even both of them.
You gotta win this week to be 4-5. Then you're going.
They run a gauntlet. This is a hard ass schedule.
Really?
Rams, Niners, Chargers, Patriots, Broncos, Buccaneers, Falcons, Niners.
God damn.
Those are all hard teams. You have to win this week. I doubt they even make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I do think that the Cardinals, they're in a good spot. They have their pieces. They just need to build a team and get a coach. But
yeah, I think that they have enough solid young pieces to where they should be competitive. On the offensive side, you have Kyler, who's one of the best young QBs in the NFL. DeAndre Hopkins is the second best receiver in all of football. You got Hollywood Brown on the other side, who's a stud when he's healthy. Then on the defensive side, you got Isaiah Simmons, who's one of my favorite players in the NFL. Buda Baker ain't terrible. Zaven Collins is just the Cardinals, they have enough young pieces to where that if they are in the market for a new head coach after this year, which I think they should be, it's a very, very enticing job for a head coach to take just because you have Kyler on the new contract. D-Hop's a stud. You got Hollywood. They should have most of their draft assets still. I don't think that there's nothing off the top of my head I can think that they're missing any picks for. You have young, solid core. So, there's no reason. They kind of got the shit end of the stick in terms of how bad their schedule is coming up. But this is a game this week against Seattle that is a must-win game.
I agree. Next up, we got the Rams at Buccaneers. I'm taking the Bucs in this one. They're at home. Both of these teams have been very underperforming. The Bucs need to come alive here soon, and it should be this week against the Rams. I'm not sure how much I see it. I think this is a defensive game, and give me the home team, honestly.
Yeah, I took Tampa in this one. I've been saying it for a few weeks now. The Bucs are pissed off. I think they're due. Me and Ryan talked about it on our Monday podcast. I think Tampa's due. Will it be this week? Probably not. But can I see a world where Tampa Bay goes and hangs 50 up on the Rams? Yes. So I'm taking the Bucs on this one.
Next up, Titans at Chiefs. Don't really have to explain a lot. I like the Chiefs in this one. I do think that 12.5 is too much because the Titans can run the ball enough to keep it close. Keep an eye out for Derrick Henry, who was limited today. I think he's fine, but I got the Chiefs in this one. They're at home. They're the better football team. Titans aren't going to be able to keep up, but I think they can keep it close on the running game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and I think it's an even bigger blow that. It's a shame that Ryan Tannehill isn't playing. I think that's a slight blow for the Titans in this game, but either way, whether it's Malik Willis or Ryan Tannehill, I'm still slamming the Chiefs on this one. I really don't think it's close. I hate Ryan Tannehill so much that part of me would have probably been slamming the Chiefs against the spread. What are they, minus 12.5?
Yeah.
I would have been slamming that just because that's how much I hate Ryan Tannehill. But I'm not going to hate. Give me the Chiefs in this one. Kind of big.
Next game, Monday night game. It is the Ravens traveling to the Saints. I ended up taking the Saints in this one because who that going to go beat them Saints at home?
Let's see the spread and let's put some money on this one.
See the spread. I was going to say Saints are favorites, but they don't have us line up on a thing. So that probably means that there's too many injured players to make a line.
I was going to say, yeah, that makes sense that they're probably waiting for the Ravens injury report to come out closer to the end of the week.
I mean, usually it only happens for quarterbacks. Maybe they don't know who's starting for the Saints.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. 3.
Ask me Sunday or this weekend. Ask me Saturday night when I'm at Ethan's birthday party.
Okay.
This is a tough game. I see this game going one of two ways. I see this game being a defensive slugfest, low-scoring game, not a lot of points scored, and just two defenses going at it, and a lot of running the ball. Or I see the Saints coming out here, taking the top off the Ravens' defense, exposing them, and winning this game big. I see that going one of two ways, but realistically, I see this game going under. The Ravens are banged up on offense. We know that Gus Edwards is battling an injury. Dobbins is on IR again, I think. Rashad Bateman's missing some weeks. Mark Andrews, we really don't know what the deal is with him and his injury yet. And it sounds like he avoided a severe injury, but he's still ain't 100%. And the Ravens defense, they did just get Roquan Smith, and they've already been playing pretty well as of late. And David Ajabo might be coming back soon for them too, so that's big plus.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the Saints just held the Raiders to 0 points, held Devontae Adams to 1 catch. So I think that both of these defenses are good enough to the point where they can come out and neutralize these offenses, and it'd be a low-scoring game, not a lot of touchdowns, like we've seen on a lot of these primetime games this year. So I'm rocking with the Ravens in this one, and I'm also liking the under at 48 points in this game.
The Saints have also spent a lot of time at home. Last week at home, the week before they went to the Cardinals, but 3 weeks before that they were at home. So they've been spending a large majority of time at home, which means they should be very well rested.
Yeah. And that's going to wrap up this week's game predictions. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Be sure to check out all our other content from the week. I know this was a shorter episode. These games suck this week. Be sure to check out our 6 weekly lock bets. We're going 6-0 this week. And go set your fantasy football lineups. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Peace.